How's everyone doing? How was the walk? Gotta love weather like this on a day in October. So yes, Liz introduced me. I'm Big Bald Mike. I'm a professional strength coach. I'm a professional arm wrestler. I own a hardcore weightlifting gym. I'm also an actor and a musician. And probably something else you haven't guessed, I'm a vegan. I'm also a huge animal lover. I'll tell you a little bit how this happened, because a lot of people seem to be interested on how one of the largest, strongest men in the world ended up becoming a cute, fuzzy, bunny-loving, plant eater. So I'll tell you. In 2008, I was a compulsive eater. I was also a severe drug and alcohol addict. I had about a $10,000 a month pill and alcohol habit. By the end of 2008, I was pretty fed up with life. The inflammation of my body was killing me, and I was ready to die. So I took about 50 hydrocodone and 2 bottles of whiskey and swallowed them, and hoping I would go in my sleep. And it didn't work. I woke up 2 days later and spent the next month trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. Obviously, there had to have been something, because that kind of cocktail should have, put me out for good. So I've always done things differently. I'm pretty much a rebel at anything I do, including instructions from any kind of manual all the way to, listen to what my parents always told me. So I was thinking about checking into rehab, but I didn't want to be in that route, didn't even want to really be surrounded by people rooting for me to get better, because I thought I would be able to make myself better doing it my way. There was a movie in 2009 that came out called The Wrestler. I had Mickey Rourke in it, and I had a real small part in that movie as one of the crowd members. I went up to New Jersey for it, and the movie came out, and people started texting me like, "Hey, we saw you in the movie." And I said, "Oh, cool." And that was just about, a month after I'd tried suicide, and so my brain waves were starting to come back a little bit, and I was starting to feel like I could leave my apartment. So I decided to go see the movie. And, everything he was going through in the movie I related to. I didn't even go to see myself. I actually just went to go see the story. And I decided the next day to become a professional wrestler. I found a school here in Austin and started training. And I was 2 or 3 days from checking into an official rehab. So I decided I'm going to make slamming bodies and slamming chairs on my head my therapy. Might have not been the smartest thing, but it's put me where I am here today, and I'm thankful for it. So when you go through a major event like trying to end your own life, and you have all the guilt of everything you've done to the people that love you, you have to just block it all out, and in my mind, get bashed in the head with chairs. So that's what I did. But I was looking for something else. I was looking for some other focus just besides tearing my body up. So I started trying to eat healthier. Around that time, I started, I was in a band also, and we had to turn in all our receipts for 2008 taxes. And I had my Jack in the Box receipts, and just one day I went through them and realized, I don't remember exactly how much money I'd spent, but looking at the food items, I realized that I had estimated that I ate over 1,095 pounds of beef in just 2008. I was also eating chicken, pork, fish, anything else. So, I mean, that's the kind of gluttony that my body was used to. So, luckily in February, I met a girl, and she's now become the love of my life. And she'd been a vegetarian for about 15 years. And she sees this big old corn-fed boy, and she decides that she's going to start showing me some videos on factory farming. I'm like, I'll keep my mind open. I like animals, but I also like to eat them too. That's what I was telling myself. And then she emailed me a couple links. I don't want to get too graphic here, but let's just say it's very, very cruel things being done to little baby chickens, and also seeing some cows being slapped around like they were, mass murders in some third world country being treated, And I said, wow, this girl's trying to get me to stop eating meat. I don't know if I can do this yet, because what am I going to tell my family? I'm the brisket maker. I used to slow smoke a brisket over 24 hours and get paid $100 for it. I've got barbecue sauce tattooed on my arms. What's this girl trying to do to me? Oh boy. Well, let me tell you what. She opened my eyes. That's what she did. I emailed her back, and I was like, okay, I'll try 1 week. I'm an athlete. I got to have my meat for my strength, so, I can only do this for 1 week. I said something along those lines. Well, by that time, it was March 31st of 2009, and that's the last time I ever put a bite of meat in my mouth. So, thank you. So from there, I decided, okay, I'm going to be the world's largest vegetarian. This is kind of cool. I'm like, I think gorillas are vegetarian, and I like to identify with the big gorilla, so, hey, I'll make this fun. Maybe I'll be able to, turn some other people on to being a vegetarian, because, they'll see that they won't have to have big, huge steaks after their workouts, that they can be some of the strongest athletes in whatever they do. And so I did. Started talking to people and got a lot of resistance. So, man, people, they don't like to being told to not eat their steak. So I said, example through consistency. Maybe that'll show them. But over the next year, I was sick a lot, because I'd never really eaten much cheese or many dairy products before, so now I'm meat-free, feeling good. Every time I'm going to restaurants, I'm making sure there's no lard and beans, no chicken stock and rice, and other things that conscious choices we have to bug restaurants about to feel good, but bring that cheese on. Stack it up till it's oozing. That's the way I used to think. And then I was sick for a whole year until I decided I got to get off this stuff and become a vegan. Right around that time, I also started training to be a professional arm wrestler. So I'm thinking, wow, I've got some big things going on here. I hope I can learn how to eat right. And it actually took me 2 years almost to learn how to eat right as a vegan. And I'm not going to lie, there were still some times where I would, break and go have a bean and cheese burrito, because the dairy is so addicting. And in my mind, I was easily able to give up chicken, steak, and all kinds of meat because of the cruelty that farm animals are subjected to, that I was able to see through video evidence. But dairy and eggs, I hadn't really thought about that much being that cruel, so in my mind I was able to keep going back to it when I'd have a break and I wouldn't feel guilty. Well, it wasn't until I started getting more and more into the animal rights movement that I started seeing that the dairy and egg industry are just as cruel, cause just as much damage to the environment as the meat industry. And it took that rationing for me to finally say, that's it. I have to read labels now, because you got to even watch out. There's wheat bread, some kinds of wheat bread that'll have milk in it. And when you get that hardcore to where you're scrutinizing every single label, you know, you start to wake some people up and maybe make them a little more conscious, or actually maybe make them think that you're a bit of a lunatic. But I'm fine being a lunatic if it means that animals do not have to suffer one bit for whatever kind of nutrition it is I put in my body. And all of you here today are supporting a really, really good cause for the farm animals. I wish that we were able to see our cats and dogs, see cats and dogs the same way we see pigs and sheep and cows and chickens. You know what I mean, switch them around. I wish that there wasn't that rationalization that our pets, no, we can't eat them. We love them. We care about them. They're our companions. Cows and chickens, and even fish. We got a koi pond. Those things come up and love on us. I got a purelette. That thing will come and fly on my shoulder and want to eat toast. All these other animals that we're like are our pets. I don't know why the thinking is that it's okay to eat some, but not others. It's a hard thing for me to swallow, and it seems like it's hard to get people educated on how to make that distinction. So I'm glad that the Farm Sanctuary is able to do events like this, that they're able to have locations on either coast to give these rescued animals a chance to live a good, healthy life. I don't know how we can really step it up more and bring more awareness to them, because there's a lot of suffering going on in their worlds. But you being here today, walking for the animals, you all owe yourselves a big round of applause, because you're here, you're thinking about them, and you're actually doing something about it. So bravo to all of you. For me, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, which is competing in professional sports and trying to keep bringing as much awareness as I can. My gym is all plant-based. That's why I'm struggling really, really hard, because it'd be so much easier for me to offer the supplements and drugs that people want, like normal, meatheads want to lift weights. I can make a much bigger buck by giving stuff with whey or even beef isolate protein. I can't even believe that someone's taking beef protein now and putting it in a powder form and selling it to bodybuilders, but I refuse to do that. I only will offer plant-based nutrition. Eventually, when I move my location here to Austin, I'll also have a juice bar. It'll be the first hardcore gym in the world where you can go bench press 500 pounds and then get a kale and a strawberry smoothie afterwards. I figure that's what I can do right now. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep spreading animal rights awareness. And I'm going to keep supporting events like this and encouraging people to learn about Farm Sanctuary and visit their website and make a contribution if you can. Being a voice for the voiceless, there's no better gratification at the end of the day. Even though I initially went into wanting to help animals for them, I've received many great benefits from it. I was coming down with heart disease and diabetes, hypertension, impotence, depression, anxiety. And when I started drinking green smoothies and eating beans and rice, my body became healed. My mind became healed. And now I feel like I'm strong and can go on and do things that I never thought I can do. So the more you spread the word of this, these kind of events, this kind of awareness, you're not only impacting the animals' lives, but you're also impacting the quality of the other people's lives. And then hopefully they'll feel encouraged to go and make people aware of cruelty and suffering that just shouldn't exist. That's my goal. I will continue to be one of the strongest men in the world, and I will always fight for animals. I have their back. And I have y'all's back too. Thank y'all for allowing me to come up here and share.